She had 48 hours to become someone's fake girlfriend or lose her studio lease. The eviction notice sat on her kitchen counter, red ink glaring under the morning light. Elena had photographed 3 weddings this month, but the couples paid in installments, and her landlord didn't accept promises. She opened her laptop to search for emergency loans, then closed it. She'd sworn never to beg again. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. "I have a proposition. Meet me at Greystone Cafe, 2 p.m. I'll cover 3 months' rent. A." She almost deleted it. Almost. But desperation had a way of rewriting rules. At the cafe, she spotted him by the window. Dark hair, expensive watch he tried to hide under his sleeve. He stood when she approached, and something about the gesture felt rehearsed. "Elena?" She nodded. "I need you to pretend to be my girlfriend," he said, "starting tomorrow." She should have walked out. Instead, she sat down. The eviction notice had been on Elena's counter for 3 days. She walked past it every morning, pretending the red ink would fade if she ignored it long enough. It didn't. Her studio apartment smelled like coffee and developer fluid. Prints hung on wire lines across the main room, black and white images of strangers caught in unguarded moments. A bride laughing, a child reaching for rain, a man standing alone at a bus stop, looking at something beyond the frame. Elena made her living capturing what people didn't know they were showing. She touched the corner of the eviction notice. The paper was cheap, the kind that left residue on your fingers. 30 days. She had 30 days to come up with 2 months back rent plus next month, or everything in this room would end up on the sidewalk. Her phone buzzed against the counter. Unknown number. She let it ring twice before answering. "Elena Castellano?" The voice was low, careful, male, American accent, but something underneath it she couldn't place. "Who's asking?" "Someone who needs a photographer," he said, "or rather, someone who needs you to look like you're not a photographer." She frowned. "I don't understand." "Meet me at Greystone Cafe at 2. I'll explain." "I don't meet strangers based on cryptic phone calls." "I'll cover 3 months' rent," he said. "Cash. Today." Elena looked at the eviction notice. The red ink seemed brighter now. 2 o'clock, she said, and hung up. Outside, October wind pulled leaves from the trees. She spotted him through the cafe window before pushing the door open. Dark hair, clean-shaven, sitting with his back to the wall like someone used to watching exits. Mid-30s, maybe. He wore a gray sweater that probably cost more than her camera, and when he saw her, he stood. That threw her. Men didn't stand anymore. "Elena," he extended his hand, "thank you for coming." His palm was warm, grip firm but not aggressive. She pulled her hand back quickly. "You know my name," she said. "I don't know yours." "Alex," he gestured to the seat across from him. "Please." She sat, ordered nothing. The cafe smelled like cinnamon and burnt espresso. "You said 3 months' rent," she said. "I did." "For what?" Alex leaned forward, elbows on the table. "I need someone to pose as my girlfriend. Public appearances only. Dinners, galleries, maybe a university event or 2. Nothing private, nothing real." Elena stared at him. "You're joking." "I'm not." "Why me?" "Because you're not connected to my world," he said. "And because you need the money." The honesty stung more than it should have. "What world is that?" "The kind where people ask questions I don't want to answer." She should have left. Should have walked out and figured out the rent some other way. But desperation was a current pulling her under, and he was offering a rope. "How long?" she asked. 2 months, maybe 3. "And then?" "We break up. Quietly, you go back to your life." Elena watched him. He didn't fidget, didn't look away. Whatever he was hiding, he'd practiced this conversation. "What aren't you telling me?" she asked. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Probably a lot of things." Outside, someone's car alarm went off, then stopped. Elena sat at her kitchen table with her laptop open. The search bar blinked at her. She typed, Alex Thornwood, Boston. 3 results. A LinkedIn profile for an architect, barely updated. A mention in a university newsletter about a graduate lecture series. A half-finished personal website with no photos. She clicked through each one. The LinkedIn had no picture. The newsletter didn't name him directly, just listed him as a guest speaker. The website was generic, the kind someone built because they were supposed to have one. Sophia came out of her bedroom, hair wrapped in a towel. Who are you stalking? No one. Liar. Sophia leaned over her shoulder, reading the screen. Alex Thornwood. Is he hot? He's a client. You don't Google clients. Elena closed the laptop. He wants to hire me for something weird. How weird? Fake girlfriend weird. Sophia laughed, then stopped when Elena didn't join her. Wait, you're serious? 3 months rent, cash. Sophia sat down across from her. Elena, that's insane. I know. You don't know anything about him. I know I'm getting evicted if I don't pay Marcus by Friday. There are other ways. Name one. Sophia opened her mouth, then closed it. They'd had this conversation before. Loans required credit. Credit required history Elena didn't have. Asking family meant admitting failure, and Elena had promised herself she'd never go back there. This feels wrong, Sophia said quietly. Elena looked at the closed laptop. Maybe, but wrong pays rent. The radiator hissed in the corner, filling the silence. The gallery opening was on Newbury Street, the kind of event where people wore black and pretended to understand abstract art. Elena stood near the entrance, waiting. Alex arrived exactly on time. He wore a dark jacket, white shirt, no tie. When he saw her, something in his expression shifted. Relief, maybe. You came, he said. You're paying me to. He nodded. Right. They walked in together. His hand found the small of her back, light pressure, guiding her through the crowd. It felt rehearsed, like he'd done this before with someone else. Smile, he said quietly. People are watching. She looked around. A few heads had turned. A woman near the bar whispered something to her companion. Why are they staring? Elena asked. Because I don't usually bring anyone. Maybe you should have mentioned that. Would you have come? She didn't answer. They stopped in front of a painting, swirls of blue and gray that looked like a storm eating itself. Alex studied it like he actually cared. Elena studied him. How long do we have to stay? She asked. An hour. That's 59 minutes too long. He almost smiled. I'll make it worth your time. You already are. Someone approached, an older man in a suit that screamed, money. He shook Alex's hand, said something about architecture and vision, barely glanced at Elena. She stood there, invisible, playing her part. When the man left, Alex turned to her. Thank you, he said. For what? For not asking why. Outside, through the gallery windows, the streetlights were starting to glow. Elena unlocked her apartment door to find Sophia waiting on the couch, arms crossed. So? Elena dropped her bag. So what? How was your fake date? Fine. That's it? Fine? Elena walked to the kitchen, poured water she didn't want. He paid me. I stood next to him. People saw us together. That's the arrangement. Sophia followed her. Did he tell you why he needs a fake girlfriend? No. Did you ask? He said his life is complicated. Everyone's life is complicated, Elena. That's not an answer. Elena set the glass down harder than she meant to. I don't need his life story. I need rent money. You need to be careful. I am being careful. No, Sophia said. You're being desperate. There's a difference. Elena looked at her roommate. Sophia's eyes were worried, the kind of worry that came from knowing someone too well. I can handle this, Elena said. That's what you said about Ryan. The name landed like a punch. Elena felt her jaw tighten. This isn't Ryan. How do you know? Because I'm not falling for Alex. This is business. Sophia was quiet for a moment. Then she sighed. Okay, but if he asks for anything that feels wrong, you walk away. Promise me. I promise. Sophia hugged her, quick and fierce, then went to her room. Elena stood alone in the kitchen, listening to the pipes rattle. They walked through Boston Common on a Thursday afternoon. Alex had texted her that morning. Need to be seen together. Public place. 1 hour. The park was full of people pretending autumn wasn't ending. Joggers, students, a man throwing a tennis ball for a dog that didn't care. Alex walked beside her, hands in his pockets. He didn't try to hold her hand. She noticed. You're good at this, she said. At what? Looking like you're here but thinking about somewhere else. He glanced at her. Is that a photographer thing? Seeing what people don't show? It's a survival thing. They passed the pond. The water reflected clouds and empty sky. I grew up traveling, Alex said suddenly. Never stayed anywhere longer than a few years. You learn to adapt, to disappear into whatever room you're in. Why are you telling me this? Because you asked why I'm good at pretending. Elena stopped walking. I didn't ask. You were thinking it. He was right, but she wasn't going to admit it. They sat on a bench. A vendor sold pretzels nearby, the smell of salt and warmth drifting over. Where's home? Elena asked. Alex looked at the pond. I don't know anymore. Everyone knows where home is. Do they? She thought about her own answer. The apartment wasn't home. Boston wasn't home. Home was something she'd left behind and couldn't go back to. Maybe not, she said. A woman jogged past, headphones in, lost in her own world. Alex's phone buzzed. He looked at the screen and his expression changed. Something tightened. I have to go, he said. We've been here 20 minutes. I know, I'm sorry. He stood. Elena stayed on the bench. Alex, he turned. Who are you running from? She asked. He smiled, sad and strange. Everyone. Then he walked away, leaving her alone with the clouds and the pretzel smell and the feeling that she'd just seen something true. The photo appeared on Elena's phone 3 days later. Sophia showed it to her over breakfast, screen tilted so Elena could see. It was her and Alex. The gallery, his hand on her back, her face turned toward him, caught mid-laugh at something she couldn't remember saying. The headline was in a language Elena didn't recognize. The website name had too many consonants. What is this? Elena asked. Sophia scrolled. Some gossip site, European, I think. It popped up when I searched your name. You searched my name? You've been acting weird. I got curious. Elena took the phone. The article had more photos. Her and Alex walking through the common, sitting on the bench, his face partially turned, like he'd sensed the camera. She clicked the website header. The text shifted, a translation bar appearing. Valdorian Daily Celebrity News. Valdoria, Elena said slowly. Where's that? Sophia pulled out her own phone. Hang on, it's a country. Small, Eastern Europe, monarchy. Elena's stomach dropped. Monarchy? Yeah, prince and princess stuff. Why? Elena looked at the photo again. Alex's face, clearer in this shot than any other. The way he stood, the way he looked at exits. Elena? Sophia's voice was distant now. What's wrong? I need to make a call. She stood, walked to her room, closed the door, pulled up Alex's number. He answered on the first ring. You saw it, he said. Who are you? A pause, long enough to confirm what she already knew. I'll come over, he said. I'll explain. You're from Valdoria. Yes. Are you? She couldn't finish the sentence. Let me come over, please. Elena looked at the photo still open on her screen, his hand on her back, her face laughing. 1 hour, she said, and hung up. Outside her window, clouds moved across the sky, casting shadows. Alex sat in her living room, looking out of place among the second-hand furniture and camera equipment. Elena stood by the kitchen counter, arms crossed. "Talk," she said. He took a breath. "My family is from Valdoria. Old family, very private. The media there is intrusive, especially about personal lives. I came to Boston to finish my degree in peace." "Your family?" "Yes." "How old is old?" "Old enough that people care who I date." Elena felt the ground shifting. "Are you famous there?" "In a way." "What way, Alex?" He met her eyes. "My family has responsibilities, public responsibilities. I'm expected to fulfill certain duties when I return." "Like what?" "Like marriage." The word hung between them. "You're engaged," Elena said flatly. "It's arranged. I don't love her. I barely know her." "But you're supposed to marry her." "Eventually." Elena laughed, sharp and bitter. "So you hired me to what? Prove you're unavailable? Make her jealous?" "No." He stood. "I hired you to make the media think I'm in a relationship so they'd stop hounding me about going home. I have 6 months left on my degree. After that, I go back and do what's expected. And I'm your cover story. You're helping me buy time." "By lying?" "Yes." Elena walked to the window. Below, a couple pushed a stroller, laughing about something. "Why didn't you tell me this from the beginning?" she asked. "Would you have said yes?" She thought about it. The eviction notice. Sophia's warnings. The way Alex had stood when she entered the cafe, like manners mattered even in deception. "Probably not," she admitted. "I'm sorry," he said. "I should have been honest." Elena turned. "What else aren't you telling me?" He held her gaze. "Nothing that affects you." "Everything about you affects me now. My face is on a Valdorian gossip site." "I'll handle it." "How?" "I'll release a statement. Say you're a friend. It'll blow over." "And if it doesn't?" Alex was quiet. Then he said, "Then I'll end the arrangement. Pay you the full amount. You walk away clean." Elena studied him. He looked tired, like he'd been carrying something heavy for too long. "I don't trust you," she said. "I know. But I need the money." "I know that too." She hated that he was right. Hated that she was standing here, calculating rent against dignity, and losing. "2 more months," she said. "Then we're done." "Agreed." He moved toward the door, then stopped. "For what it's worth," he said, "I wish I'd met you under different circumstances." "Why?" "Because you're the first person in a long time who didn't want anything from me." He left before she could respond. Elena stood in the empty room, listening to his footsteps fade down the hallway. Elena sat at her laptop, the glow harsh in the dark apartment. Sophia was asleep. The building was quiet except for the radiator's occasional groan. She typed, "Valdoria Royal Family." The results loaded slowly. King Frederick IV, Queen Margareta, 2 children, Princess Caroline, 26, Prince Alexander, 30. She clicked the prince's name. The photo loaded. It was him, not Alex Thornwood, architecture student, Prince Alexander of Valdoria, second in line to the throne, photographed at state dinners and charity galas, always in formal wear, always with the same carefully neutral expression. Elena scrolled through the images. Him shaking hands with diplomats. Him standing beside his sister at some ceremony. Him at 18, younger but recognizable, already learning to hide. The most recent article was 6 months old. Prince Alexander begins graduate studies abroad. Palace declines to specify location. She closed the laptop. Her phone buzzed. A text from Alex. "I understand if you want out." She stared at the message. Thought about the eviction notice now paid. Thought about Sophia's warning. Thought about Ryan, 3 years ago, using her connections to build his career while pretending to love her. This was different. Alex had lied, but he wasn't pretending affection. He'd been clear from the start. This was transactional. Maybe that was better. Maybe knowing the truth meant she couldn't get hurt. She typed back, 2 more months, That's it. His reply came fast. Thank you. Elena set the phone down. Outside, the city hummed its late-night song. She pulled up the search again, typed, Prince Alexander engaged. The results showed a young woman, Princess Charlotte of Luxembourg. Blonde, elegant, photographed at the same events as Alexander, always separated by appropriate distance. The engagement wasn't official yet, but every article agreed it was inevitable. Elena looked at her own reflection in the dark screen. She barely recognized herself. She closed the laptop and went to bed, but sleep didn't come for a long time. The next 3 weeks blurred together in a series of carefully staged moments. Dinner at a restaurant where the sommelier knew Alex by name. A concert at Symphony Hall where they sat in a box seat, her hand resting on the armrest between them, his fingers occasionally brushing hers. A walk along the Charles River at sunset, his jacket draped over her shoulders when the wind picked up. Each time there were cameras, not obvious ones, just phones tilted at careful angles, tourists who weren't quite tourists. Elena learned to recognize them. She also learned other things, that Alex took his coffee black, that he listened more than he spoke, that when he laughed, really laughed, it sounded surprised, like he'd forgotten he could. They were sitting in a bookstore cafe on a Thursday afternoon, rain drumming against the windows. Tell me something true, Elena said. Alex looked up from his book. What? We've been doing this for almost a month. I know how you take your coffee. I don't know anything real. He closed the book slowly. What do you want to know? Why architecture? Because buildings don't care who designed them, he said. They just stand or fall based on the work. You wanted something meritocratic. I wanted something mine. Elena wrapped her hands around her cup. What happens when you go back? I take a position in the Ministry of Culture, attend state functions, cut ribbons, make speeches written by someone else. And Charlotte? His jaw tightened at the name. And Charlotte. Do you love her? I've met her 4 times. That's not an answer. It's the only answer I have. Outside, someone ran past the window, newspaper held overhead against the rain. Elena thought about what Sophia had said. Everyone's life is complicated, but Alex's complications had borders and crowns and centuries of tradition pressing down. I'm sorry, she said. For what? That you have to go back. He smiled, but it was the sad kind. So am I. The barista called someone's name. Steam hissed from the espresso machine. Elena's photo exhibit opened on a Friday night in a small gallery in Cambridge. She hadn't expected Alex to come. He'd texted that morning asking for the address. She stood near her favorite piece, a black and white shot of an empty playground at dawn, swings still swaying from wind or ghost children. You see the world differently, a voice said behind her. Alex. He wore dark jeans and a sweater, trying to blend in with the art crowd. It almost worked. It's my job, she said. No, he stepped closer, studying the photograph. Your job is to capture what's there. You capture what's underneath. She felt something shift in her chest. You sound like you actually understand. I do. He moved through the exhibit slowly, stopping at each image. A woman laughing at a funeral. 2 strangers reaching for the same taxi. An old man feeding pigeons, his face carrying decades of stories. When he reached the last photo, he stood there for a long time. It was a self-portrait. Elena at 17, face half in shadow, half in light. The year she'd left home, the year she'd decided to become someone else. How old were you? Alex asked. 17. You look afraid. I was. He turned to her. Of what? Staying. Something passed between them, an understanding that didn't need words. He knew what it meant to be trapped by other people's expectations. A couple walked past, glasses of wine in hand, discussing the composition of the playground shot. This is really good, Elena, Alex said quietly. You should be proud. Thank you. I mean it. She believed him. Later, after the gallery closed and the crowd dispersed, they walked to her apartment. The November air bit cold. "Can I ask you something?" Elena said. "Always. Do you ever think about just not going back?" Alex was quiet for several steps. "Every day. But you will." "Yes." "Why?" "Because my sister can't do it alone. Because my parents are aging. Because 1,000 years of history doesn't end just because I want it to." They reached her building, stood under the streetlight. "That's not fair," Elena said. "No, but it's true." He looked at her, and for a moment she saw past the careful composure, saw someone drowning in duty, reaching for air. "Good night, Elena." "Good night." He walked away and she watched until he disappeared around the corner. It was past midnight when Alex called. Elena was editing photos, lost in the blue glow of her screen. She almost didn't answer. "I can't sleep," he said. "So you called me? Can I come over?" She should have said no. Should have remembered this was an arrangement, a transaction, nothing more. "Yes," she said instead. He arrived 20 minutes later, hair damp from rain that had started while she waited. She let him in, didn't ask questions. They sat on her couch, the city humming outside. "I got a call from my father tonight," Alex said. "The formal engagement will be announced at Christmas. I'm expected home 2 weeks before." "That's soon." 6 weeks. Elena felt something cold settle in her stomach. "What did you say?" "I said yes." "Just like that?" What else could I say? She wanted to be angry, wanted to tell him to fight, to choose himself. But she knew it wasn't that simple. Some cages were built from love and duty, and those were the hardest to escape. "Tell me about her," Elena said. "Charlotte." Alex leaned back, eyes on the ceiling. "She's kind, intelligent, speaks 4 languages, plays piano, everything a princess should be." "Do you want to marry her?" "Want has nothing to do with it." "Then what does?" "Compatibility, duty, the right bloodlines and political alliances." "That sounds like a business contract." "It is." Elena pulled her knees up. "I'm glad I'm not royal." "So am I." "Why?" He looked at her. "Because if you were, we wouldn't be here." The words hung in the air between them. Elena felt her pulse quicken. "Alex." "I know," he said. "This is an arrangement. You're helping me buy time, that's all." "That's all," she echoed. But they both knew it was a lie now. He reached for her hand. She let him take it. They sat like that for an hour, not talking, just two people pretending the clock wasn't counting down. When he left, the apartment felt emptier than it should have. Sophia cornered Elena in the kitchen the next morning. "You slept with him." "I didn't." "But you wanted to." Elena poured coffee, didn't answer. "Oh my God," Sophia said. "You have feelings for him." "I don't." "Liar." Elena set the cup down too hard. "It doesn't matter what I feel. He's leaving in 6 weeks. Going back to marry someone else. That's the reality." "Then why are you still doing this?" "Because I signed a contract." "Screw the contract, Elena. You're going to get hurt." "I'm not." "Yes, you are. I can see it. You look at him like—" Sophia stopped. "Like you looked at Ryan. Before he destroyed you." The name was a knife. Elena felt it twist. "Alex isn't Ryan," she said. "How do you know?" "Because Alex told me the truth. He never pretended this was something it wasn't. But now it is something else. And you're the only one admitting it." Elena grabbed her coat. "I have to go." "Elena." "I'll be fine." She left before Sophia could argue. Walked 3 blocks before realizing she had nowhere to go. She ended up at the Charles River, watching the water move, thinking about cages and contracts and the difference between being used and being understood. Her phone buzzed. "Alex. Dinner tonight? There's something I want to tell you." She stared at the message, thought about Sophia's warning, thought about Ryan, who had lied about everything. She typed back, "Okay." The water kept moving, indifferent to human complications. They met at a small Italian place in the North End, the kind of restaurant with red checkered tablecloths and candles in wine bottles. No cameras, no performance, just them. Alex looked nervous. Elena had never seen him nervous. "You said you wanted to tell me something," she said after they'd ordered. He nodded, took a breath. "I'm not supposed to marry Charlotte." Elena frowned. "What do you mean?" "I was. 3 months ago, that was the plan. But I told my father I needed time to finish my degree, to have one last year of normal life. He agreed, but with conditions." "What conditions?" "No scandals, no public relationships, nothing that would embarrass the family." "And then you hired me." "Yes, to make it look like I was unavailable, so they'd stop pressuring me to come home early." Elena felt something unraveling. "So you lied to your family too?" "I created a buffer." "You lied, Alex." He didn't argue. "You're right, I'm sorry." The waiter brought wine. They sat in silence while he poured. When they were alone again, Elena said, "Why are you telling me this now?" "Because the engagement is happening regardless. Charlotte and I will be formally betrothed at Christmas. The wedding is set for next June. None of that changes." "Then what changes?" He looked at her. "I have these 6 weeks, and I don't want to spend them pretending." Her breath caught. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying I don't want this to be fake anymore." The candle flickered between them. Someone laughed at a nearby table. "Alex, you're getting married." "I know." "To someone else." "I know." "Then this is insane." "Probably." Elena should have stood up, should have walked out, but his eyes held hers, and she saw the same desperation she felt. "6 weeks," she said. 6 weeks. "And then you go back?" "Yes." "And marry her?" "Yes." She should have said no, should have protected herself, should have remembered every lesson she'd learned about trusting men who couldn't stay. Instead, she leaned across the table and kissed him. He tasted like wine and poor decisions and everything she'd been trying not to want. When they pulled apart, he was smiling, the real kind. "Elena, don't," she said. "Don't make promises you can't keep." "I won't." "Good." They finished dinner, walked back to her apartment, climbed the stairs slowly, like they were stealing time. In her dark room, the red light glowing soft, he kissed her again. This time without audiences, without contracts, without pretending. Just 2 people in the dark, choosing each other for as long as they could. The call came at 6 in the morning. Alex's phone, vibrating on her nightstand. Elena watched him reach for it, still half asleep. His voice changed when he saw the caller ID. "Yes?" He sat up, listened. "When?" More listening. "I understand." He hung up. "What is it?" Elena asked. "I have to go home. There's a situation with my father's health. Nothing serious, but they want me there." "For how long?" "A week, maybe more." He was already getting dressed, movements efficient, military. Elena recognized this version of him. Prince Alexander, not Alex. "I'm sorry," he said. "I'll text you when I land." "Okay." He kissed her forehead. Then he was gone. Elena lay in bed, listening to the silence. Outside, the city was waking up. Cars, voices, the ordinary sounds of ordinary lives. She picked up her phone. No text from Sophia, no client emails, just the ghost of his warmth on the sheets. She got up, showered, made coffee, tried to work. Every photo she edited looked wrong. Too bright, too dark, too empty. By evening, she gave up and called Sophia. "He left," Elena said. "For good?" "For a week. Family emergency." Sophia was quiet. Then, "Are you okay?" "I don't know." "Come over. I'll order Thai food." Elena grabbed her coat, locked the door, walked 3 blocks to Sophia's place, where the lights were warm and someone was waiting. Maybe that was enough for now. Alex texted from Valdoria at odd hours. 3 in the morning. Noon. Messages that felt like stolen moments between obligations. Father is fine. Palace is suffocating as always. Miss you. Formal dinner tonight. 43 forks. Wish you were here to laugh about it. Elena sent back photos of Boston. The Common at dawn. Her coffee cup. Small things that felt enormous in the spaces between them. Sophia watched her from the couch. You're in deep. I know. This is going to hurt. I know that too. Then why? Elena looked at her phone. At the last message from Alex, sent at 2 in the morning his time. A photo of the palace gardens at night, everything silver and ghostly. Because 6 weeks of real is better than a lifetime of safe, she said. Sophia sighed. God, you're an idiot. Yeah, I love you anyway. I know. They ordered pizza, watched bad movies, didn't talk about countdowns or royal weddings or the ways people leave. But Elena felt it anyway. The clock ticking, the sand running out. Outside, November was ending, winter coming fast. Alex returned on a Tuesday. Elena was at her studio when he texted. I'm back. Can I see you? She typed, yes, then deleted it. Typed, are you okay? Deleted that too. Finally, my place, 7. He arrived with Thai food and shadows under his eyes. You look tired, she said. I am. They ate on her couch, not talking much. He told her about his father's health scare, minor but enough to rattle the palace. About formal dinners where Charlotte had been present, smiling across the table like she knew exactly what her future held. She's nice, Alex said. That's the worst part. She doesn't deserve to marry someone who doesn't love her. Have you told her? Told her what? That I'm in love with someone else? That won't change anything. The words hung between them. In love. He'd said it casually, like it was obvious, like it didn't just crack Elena's world open. Alex, I know, he said. 4 weeks left. I know. She took his hand. We don't have to talk about it. But we should. Maybe. She leaned into him. Or maybe we just have these 4 weeks. He kissed the top of her head. Okay. They fell asleep on the couch, the TV playing something neither of them watched. In the morning, Elena woke first. Looked at him sleeping, face finally peaceful. She took a photo on her phone. Not for anyone else, just for her. Evidence that this had been real. The weather turned bitter. December arrived with ice and early darkness. Elena and Alex moved through the days like people in a dream. Breakfast at her place, walks through the city, nights in her dark room, the red light turning everything intimate. They didn't talk about the future, didn't make plans past next week, but the clock kept ticking anyway. On a Wednesday, 2 weeks before Christmas, Elena was editing photos when her phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Is this Elena Castellano? A woman's voice. Accented. European. Who's asking? My name is Margot Lindstrom. I'm a reporter with European Royal Watch. I'm calling about your relationship with Prince Alexander. Elena's blood went cold. I don't know what you're talking about. We have photographs of you together, multiple occasions over the past 2 months. I'm writing a story about the prince's American girlfriend. I'd like to give you a chance to comment. No comment. Miss Castellano. Elena hung up, hands shaking. She called Alex. He answered immediately. They know, she said. A reporter just called me. He was quiet for 3 seconds. I'll handle it. How? I don't know yet, but I will. That night he didn't come over, didn't call. Elena sat alone in her apartment, watching her phone, waiting for the world to break. The story went live at midnight. Sophia woke Elena up, laptop open, face grim. You need to see this. The headline was in English this time. Prince Alexander's secret romance. American photographer steals royal heart. There were photos, dozens of them. Elena and Alex at the gallery, walking through the common. Outside her apartment building, his hand on her cheek, both of them smiling like idiots. The article was detailed, too detailed. It mentioned her studio address, her past exhibits, Ryan's name, and the scandal that had tanked her career 3 years ago. They dug up everything, Sophia said quietly. Elena couldn't breathe. How did they get all this? They're professionals, Elena. This is what they do. Her phone rang. Alex. I'm so sorry, he said. I'm releasing a statement now. I'll say it was a misunderstanding, that you're a friend. A friend. To protect you. Or to protect yourself. The words came out sharper than she meant. But she was angry now, the fear turning into something hotter. That's not fair, Alex said. None of this is fair. You knew this could happen. I was careful. Not careful enough. Silence on the line, then. What do you want me to do? Elena looked at the article, at her own face, captured in a moment she thought was private. I don't know, she said. I have to go. She hung up. Sophia put her arm around her. It'll blow over. Will it? Eventually. But Elena knew better. The internet didn't forget. Her name was linked to his now, forever. Outside, the city was dark and cold and indifferent. Elena didn't leave her apartment for 3 days. Reporters camped outside. Not many, just enough to make walking to the corner store feel like running a gauntlet. Sophia screened her calls, deleted emails from gossip sites requesting interviews. Alex texted constantly. Please talk to me. I'm handling this. I'm so sorry. She didn't respond. On the third day, Sophia sat beside her on the couch. You can't hide forever. Watch me. Elena, he lied, Sophia. He said this was controlled, that no one would know. He probably believed that. Doesn't make it true. Sophia picked at the couch cushion. Do you love him? Elena didn't answer right away. Then, yes. Then talk to him. What's the point? He's leaving in 2 weeks anyway. The point is, you deserve to say goodbye properly. Elena looked at her phone. 12 unread messages from Alex. She opened the most recent. I can't fix this, but I want to try. Please. Her chest ached. I don't know if I can do this, Sophia. Then don't. Walk away. Protect yourself. That easy? No, but necessary. Elena thought about the past 2 months, about Thai food and darkroom kisses, and the way Alex looked at her like she was the only real thing in his carefully constructed world. She thought about Ryan, about being used, about the difference between being manipulated and being caught in circumstances neither of them could control. I need to see him, she said. Sophia handed her the coat. Then go. Elena stood outside Alex's apartment building at noon. The sky was gray, threatening snow. She texted, I'm downstairs. He buzzed her up immediately. His apartment was neat, almost sterile, like a hotel room someone had lived in but never settled into. Thank you for coming, he said. She didn't take off her coat. Talk. I released the statement, said you were a friend from university, that the media misinterpreted our relationship. And they believed you? Some did. Others will keep digging. Great. Elena, I'm sorry. I thought I could keep you out of this. You can't keep anyone out of it, Alex. That's the problem. Your life is public. Mine was supposed to be private. Now it's not. He ran a hand through his hair. I know. I was selfish. I wanted... He stopped. Wanted what? You. I wanted you. And I convinced myself I could have that without consequences. Elena felt tears threaten. You can't. I know. They stood in the sterile apartment, 2 people who'd stolen time and were now paying for it. When do you leave? She asked. 5 days. Christmas. Yes. And the engagement? Announced at the Palace Gala. Charlotte and I will appear together. Smile for the cameras. Perfect. Elena, I can't do this, she said. I thought I could, but I can't watch you go back and marry someone else. Then don't watch. Walk away now. Is that what you want? He looked at her. No, but it's what's fair. She hated that he was right, hated that he was giving her an out. I need time to think, she said. Okay. She moved toward the door. Elena? She turned. I love you, he said. That's real, even if nothing else can be. The words broke something in her. I know. She left before he could see her cry. Elena Googled herself that night. It was masochistic. She knew it, but she couldn't stop. The articles had multiplied. Who is Elena Castellano? Prince Alexander's mystery woman. From scandal to royalty, photographers' troubled past. They'd found Ryan, found the plagiarism accusation he'd fabricated to cover his own theft of her work. Found the gallery that had dropped her. Found everything she'd spent 3 years trying to forget. One article had comments. She read them. Another mistake. Gold digger. She's using him for fame. Americans ruin everything. Not even pretty. Sophia found her at 2 in the morning, laptop open, face wet. Oh, honey. Sophia closed the computer. Don't read that garbage. They think I'm using him. They're idiots. Ryan really did ruin me, and now Alex. Alex isn't Ryan, but everyone thinks he is. Sophia pulled her into a hug. The people who matter know the truth. Do they? I do. Alex does. That's enough. But it didn't feel like enough. It felt like drowning. On his last day in Boston, Alex showed up at her apartment unannounced. Elena answered the door in sweatpants, hair unwashed, eyes red. Hi, he said. Hi. Can I come in? She stepped aside. He looked around the apartment like he was memorizing it. The camera equipment, the photos on the walls, the couch where they'd fallen asleep countless times. I leave tomorrow morning, he said. I know. And I won't be back. I know that too. He turned to her. Come with me. Elena's breath caught. What? To Valdoria, tonight. Come with me. Alex, that's insane. I know, but I'm asking anyway. What would that accomplish? I don't know, maybe nothing. But maybe you'd see what I'm going back to. Maybe you'd understand. I already understand. Do you? She looked at him, at the desperation in his eyes, at the prince trying to be a person. You're getting engaged in 3 days, she said. Yes. To Charlotte. Yes. Then why would you want me there? Because I can't do this without knowing you understand why. Elena felt anger rise. You want me to absolve you, to tell you it's okay to leave. No, I want you to see that I don't have a choice. Everyone has a choice, Alex. Not when your choice affects millions of people. The words hung between them, true and impossible. I can't, Elena said finally. I can't watch you become someone else. He nodded. I understand. He moved to the door, stopped. For what it's worth, he said, you were the realest thing in my life. Past tense? Has to be. He kissed her, one last time, soft and sad and final. Then he left. Elena stood in the empty apartment, listening to his footsteps fade. Outside, the first snow of winter started to fall. Elena woke to her phone vibrating across the nightstand. 23 missed calls, 16 texts, all from numbers she didn't recognize. She scrolled through the notifications, stomach sinking. Miss Castellano, this is Boston Herald. We'd like to speak with you about… TMZ here, can you confirm? Daily Mail, when did your relationship with Prince Alexander… She turned the phone off. Outside her window, she could see them. 4 reporters, maybe 5, cameras ready, waiting for her to leave the building. Sophia knocked on her bedroom door. They've been there since 6. What time is it? 9. Elena pulled the blanket over her head. I'm not going out there. You have to eventually. Why? Because hiding makes you look guilty. I am guilty of being an idiot. Sophia sat on the edge of the bed. The palace released another statement this morning. Elena pulled the blanket down. What did it say? That Prince Alexander's personal life is private, that Ms. Castellano was a brief acquaintance during his studies, that he's looking forward to his upcoming engagement to Princess Charlotte. The words landed like stones. Brief acquaintance. He didn't write that, Elena said. Probably not, but he approved it. Elena stared at the ceiling. He's protecting himself. Or protecting you. By erasing me? Sophia didn't answer. There was no good answer. Elena's phone buzzed again. She'd forgotten to turn it off completely. One new message from Alex. I'm sorry, they wrote the statement. I couldn't stop them. Please believe me. She deleted it without responding. Sophia drove her to the cabin at midnight. It belonged to Sophia's college roommate, 2 hours north of Boston, buried in woods where reporters couldn't follow. The cabin was small, 1 bedroom, a fireplace that worked if you knew how to coax it. No cell service. Stay as long as you need, Sophia said. Emma's in California until New Year's. Thank you. Call me when you get service, or don't. Just breathe. Sophia hugged her hard, then drove away. Elena stood in the dark cabin, listening to silence. No cars, no voices, just wind through bare trees. She unpacked slowly. Clothes, laptop, camera, the essentials of a life that felt foreign now. She checked her phone. 1 bar of service, flickering. No new messages. She turned it off and put it in a drawer. For the first time in weeks, she could breathe. The news broke 2 days later. Elena didn't see it at first. No internet, no phone, just the cabin, in the woods, and the slow unwinding of tension in her shoulders. But when she drove into town for groceries, she saw it on the newspaper stand outside the general store. Prince Alexander's American scandal. Palace denies romantic involvement. The photo was from the gallery opening. Her face turned toward Alex, laughing at something. His hand on her back. Both of them looking like people who'd forgotten cameras existed. She bought the paper, sat in her car, read. The article was brutal. It detailed her past with Ryan, called her troubled photographer with history of professional misconduct, quoted unnamed sources saying she'd pursued the prince aggressively for financial gain. Every sentence was a knife. She drove back to the cabin, threw the paper in the fireplace, watched it burn. Her phone had service for 30 seconds, long enough for one message to come through. Alex, don't read the news. Please, none of it is true. She turned the phone off again. On Christmas Eve, Elena woke to fresh snow in absolute silence. She made coffee, sat by the window, watched cardinals fight over the bird feeder Emma had hung from a pine tree. Her laptop sat on the table, closed. She hadn't opened it in 3 days. But curiosity was a persistent thing. She opened it, connected to the weak Wi-Fi. The headlines loaded slowly. Royal engagement announced, Prince Alexander to wed Princess Charlotte in June. There was a photo, Alex in a tuxedo, Charlotte in a blue gown that probably cost more than Elena's car. Both of them smiling that particular royal smile that reached the mouth, but not the eyes. The article was everything Alex had predicted. A fairy tale union. 2 great families, centuries of tradition. Elena read it twice, then closed the laptop. She thought about texting him, saying, congratulations, saying something. Instead, she put on her coat and walked into the woods. The snow was pristine, no footprints, no sounds except her breathing and the crunch of ice. She walked until her fingers were numb, until the cabin was a distant shape through the trees. She took out her camera, started shooting, bare branches against white sky, snow caught in spider webs, her own shadow stretching long and thin. She took 50 photos, then 100, lost herself in frames and light in the mechanical click of the shutter. When she got back to the cabin, the sun was setting. Her phone had a voicemail. She played it. "Elena, it's me." Alex's voice rough. "I know you don't want to talk, I understand, but I need you to know something. The engagement happened. I smiled, I said the right things, but when they asked if I loved her, I couldn't say yes." A long pause. "They'll edit that part out, but you should know. You should know I couldn't lie about that." The message ended. Elena played it again, then deleted it. Outside, darkness swallowed the trees. A week passed, then two. Elena stayed in the cabin, edited photos, ate canned soup, watched the year end through frosted windows. Sophia texted when Elena had service. "Come home, it's dying down." But Elena wasn't ready for the world yet. On January 3rd, she drove to town for supplies, stopped at the coffee shop, ordered something warm. The TV in the corner was playing news, European channels. She tried not to watch, but then she heard his voice. Alex, on screen, at some palace press conference. "Prince Alexander, can you comment on the American photographer?" His face was stone. "I have no comment on my personal life." "But the photos were taken out of context. Ms. Castellano and I were acquaintances, nothing more." The reporter pushed. "Sources say you were romantically involved." Sources are often wrong. Elena felt something crack inside her. Not anger, something colder. He was good at this. The denial, the dismissal. The careful erasure of everything they'd been. She left her coffee on the counter, drove back to the cabin, packed her bags. It was time to go home. Boston was exactly as she'd left it. Cold, gray, indifferent. The reporters were gone from her building. The story had moved on. Someone else's scandal now. Sophia opened the door before Elena could knock. "You're back." "I'm back." They hugged, long and tight. Inside, the apartment was warm. Sophia had cleaned, left fresh flowers on the table. "Thank you," Elena said. "For what?" "For not saying I told you so." Sophia smiled. "I'm saving that for later." Elena unpacked slowly, hung her camera equipment, tried to remember what normal felt like. Her phone buzzed. She'd turned it back on during the drive. 17 messages, most from clients, a few from old friends who'd seen the news. One from Alex. She didn't open it. 3 days after returning to Boston, Elena got a visitor. She was editing photos in her studio when the buzzer rang. "Miss Castellano? I'm Marcus Holberg. I work for the Valdorian consulate." Elena's hand froze on the intercom. "What do you want?" "May I come up? I have something from Prince Alexander." She should have said no, should have sent him away. "Fifth floor," she said. He arrived 2 minutes later, tall, 50s, expensive suit, carried a briefcase like it contained state secrets. "Thank you for seeing me," he said. "I haven't decided if I'm seeing you yet." He smiled slightly. "Prince Alexander asked me to deliver this personally." He opened the briefcase, pulled out an envelope, thick, cream-colored, her name and handwriting she recognized. "I'll leave you to read it," Marcus said. "If you have questions, my card is inside." He left as quietly as he'd arrived. Elena held the envelope, felt the weight of it. She almost threw it away. Instead, she opened it. The letter was 3 pages, handwritten. "Elena, I know I have no right to write this. No right to ask for your time or attention or forgiveness. But I'm writing anyway because some things need to be said, even if they change nothing. The engagement is real. The wedding is planned for June. I will marry Charlotte because that's what's expected, and because she deserves someone who can commit fully, even if I can't love her the way she deserves. You asked me once if I ever thought about not going back. The truth is, I think about it every day. I think about what my life would look like if I'd been born anyone else. If I could choose teaching over ceremony. If I could wake up next to you instead of a crown. But I wasn't born anyone else. I'm Prince Alexander of Valdoria, and that comes with responsibilities I can't abandon. My sister Caroline needs my support as she prepares to take the throne. My parents are aging. My country needs stability, and stability requires sacrifice. I'm telling you this not to make excuses, but so you understand. Leaving you wasn't a choice. It was the only option I had. The palace's statements about you were unconscionable. I fought them. I lost. The machine is bigger than both of us, and it protects itself by destroying anything that threatens the narrative. I'm sorry you were hurt. I'm sorry your name was dragged through lies. I'm sorry I couldn't protect you from that. There's money in the account we set up, more than we agreed on. Take it. Use it for your studio. I know you'll refuse, but please don't. Let me do this one thing right. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't even know if I deserve the memory of what we had. But I need you to know it was real. Every moment, every conversation, every kiss in your darkroom while the red light turned us into ghosts. You were the truest thing in my life, Elena. You still are. I hope someday you find someone who can stay. Someone who chooses you every morning without conditions or countdowns. You deserve that. You deserve everything. I'm sorry I couldn't be him. Yours, in the only way I can be, Alex. Elena read it 3 times, then folded it carefully, put it back in the envelope. She didn't cry. She'd cried enough. She picked up her phone, typed a message. I got your letter. Thank you for being honest. I hope you find happiness, even in duty. Goodbye, Alex. She hit send before she could change her mind. Then she blocked his number. It was time to let go. 2 weeks later, Sophia found Elena at the kitchen table at 3 in the morning. Can't sleep? Not really. Sophia sat down. Still thinking about him? Sometimes. That's normal. Is it? Yeah. Sophia poured water from the pitcher. You loved him. That doesn't just stop. It should, but it won't, not for a while. Sophia looked at her. What are you going to do? Elena had been asking herself the same question for days. I'm going to work, she said finally. I'm going to take photos. I'm going to rebuild. That's it? That's everything. Sophia smiled. Good. Good? You're choosing yourself. That's the hardest thing. Elena looked at her hands. I don't know how to trust again. You don't have to. Not yet. Just exist for a while. Let yourself be broken, then see what grows back. That sounds like a greeting card. It's still true. Elena laughed. A small sound, but real. Maybe that was enough for now. Spring came slowly. Elena took a job shooting a small wedding, then another, then a corporate event that paid well but bored her to tears. She avoided news about Valdoria, avoided royal wedding coverage, avoided anything that might show her Alex's face. But one day in April, Sophia left the newspaper open on the kitchen table. Elena saw it before she could look away. Royal wedding postponed. Princess Charlotte withdraws from engagement. Her heart stopped. She read the article standing up, hands shaking. Princess Charlotte of Luxembourg has formally withdrawn from her engagement to Prince Alexander of Valdoria, citing incompatibility and mutual respect for one another's happiness. Sources close to the palace suggest the princess initiated the decision after private conversations revealed fundamental differences in expectations for the marriage. Prince Alexander released a statement. I have the utmost respect for Charlotte's decision and wish her every happiness. We both deserve to marry for love, not obligation. The Valdorian Palace has announced no plans for a new engagement. Prince Alexander will remain unmarried for the foreseeable future, focusing on his duties within the Ministry of Culture. Elena read it twice, then a third time. He wasn't getting married. Charlotte had walked away, and Alex had let her. Her phone rang, unknown number, international. She stared at it, counted the rings. On the 4th ring, she answered. Elena? His voice, rough, uncertain. Please don't hang up. She sat down slowly. I wasn't going to. Did you see the news? Yes. Charlotte is braver than I am, he said. She said no. She walked away from everything because she refused to live a lie. Good for her. I should have done that. I should have. He stopped. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm calling. Neither do I. A long silence then. I'm not coming back to Boston. I didn't ask you to. I know, but I needed to say it. I need to stay here. Figure out who I am when I'm not running. Elena closed her eyes. That's good, Alex. Is it? Yes. I miss you. The words hurt more than they should have. I miss you too. Does that change anything? No. I didn't think so. They sat in silence across an ocean. Two people who'd had 6 weeks and a lifetime. Be happy, Alex, Elena said finally. You too. She hung up. Outside, cherry blossoms were blooming, the city turning pink and white and alive again. May brought warmth and light and the slow unfurling of things that had been dormant too long. Elena opened her studio to the public, hosted a small exhibition, sold 3 prints. Sophia helped her hang the work, told her she was proud, made her promise to stop reading the comments. On a Thursday afternoon, Elena was editing photos when her buzzer rang. She almost didn't answer. She'd learned to be wary of unexpected visitors, but curiosity won. Yes? No response, just breathing. Then, it's me. Her heart stopped. She pressed the button without thinking, waited. The elevator took forever. She watched the numbers climb. 3, 4, 5. The door opened. Alex stood in the hallway holding coffee, 2 cups. He looked different, lighter somehow, like he'd put down something heavy. Hi, he said. Hi. I know I said I wasn't coming back, but I lied. You're good at that. I'm working on being less good at it. She stepped aside. He came in, set the coffee on her counter. Why are you here, Alex? Because Charlotte was right. Life's too short to marry someone you don't love. So? So I told my father I'm not getting engaged to anyone. Not this year. Maybe not ever. I'm taking a position at the university here, teaching architecture. I'm choosing this. Elena felt something crack open in her chest. For how long? I don't know. A year, maybe longer. And then? I don't know that either. She looked at him, at the prince who'd finally chosen himself. I can't do another countdown, she said. I'm not asking you to. Then what are you asking? He moved closer. I'm asking if you'd have coffee with me. No contracts, no cameras, no predetermined ending. Just coffee? Just coffee. He paused. And maybe, if you're willing, we could see what happens when we're not stealing time. Elena thought about trust, about Ryan and lies and being careful. She thought about Alex's letter, about 6 weeks that had felt like everything. She thought about Sophia saying, let yourself be broken, then see what grows back. One condition, Elena said. Anything. If you leave again, you tell me to my face. No palace statements. No erasure. I promise. Okay. Okay? She picked up one of the coffee cups. Coffee. Let's start there. He smiled, the real kind, the one that reached his eyes. They sat on her couch, talked about small things, the weather, the city, her new exhibition. Nothing profound, nothing heavy, just 2 people choosing to start again, slowly, with no guarantees. Outside, the afternoon light turned golden. Cars passed. The city hummed its ordinary song. And for the first time in months, Elena felt something like hope. Not the fairy tale kind, the real kind. The kind that says, maybe this time, maybe this person, maybe enough. It wasn't an ending. It wasn't even a beginning. It was just a Thursday in May, and that was enough.